Hello everybody, it's Demon Walker here, and today I'm going to be going through a box of Flower Girls 2. So I've already opened up one of these boxes in the past, I just didn't do it on camera, so I decided to buy a second one. I wasn't actually thrilled with this box the first time, but maybe we'll have some better stuff. And I thought I'll have my Cheer No Fumo with me because only an idiot would buy something they didn't like. So I must have channeled my inner Cheerno. So I do like that this tells you how many of each rarity is on the side. So 54 of the low rarity SR, and then 45 SSR, so on and so forth. That's pretty cool. Otherwise, most of the box is pretty generic. It's not too much fancier than, say, like the lower end Goddess Story boxes. But we'll get into it. I think it's like 30 packs to a box. I've got it really sealed up. And then I think each pack comes with like 5 cards. Alright, and I'd forgotten it does have a hit pack, so we can go through that at the end. I do like the pack art with Kokoro and whoever this chick is. That's pretty cool. Unfortunately, most of my good thoughts end probably there. The first time I bought one of these, I bought it because a lot of people were talking about how good Flower Girl was. And just off the first card, you can see it's not awful. At least some of them. This is one of the better cards, it looks like. But once we get a little further in, you'll kind of understand what I don't like about it. I do like also that this one has stuff on the back, even if I can't read it. Alright, then another chick I don't know. All these are on the bottom, so you could probably get it translated. But here's a good example. If you look at the hand, that's it's a little goofy. So yeah, these are definitely AI art cards. I believe almost the whole set. At the very least, all the SRs are. Some of them are better done than others, but these all kind of look like they were made with a lower end version of an AI art generator. Some end up with better quality, like I think this Mikasa from Index and Railgun's okay. But then there's a couple other cards that were the main tipping points where I'm like, yuck. Yeah, so that's pretty much our first pack. I believe every pack comes with a TGR rarity. And usually the TGRs are a little bit better, so that's not too terribly bad. We got the what's her name from Kaguya-sama. I think this one's actually new to me, so that's neat. Yeah, I don't know why people were saying this is a good pack initially, or a good box. Maybe because of Flower Girls 1 was actually good. I didn't get a chance to get anything from Flower Girls 1. I just kind of... I saw this initially, and I'm like, oh, everybody thinks it's good, so I'll buy it. And I was really disappointed on my first box. Here's another example of an okay one, Majoro McQueen. Like, there's nothing immediately glaring other than maybe the hair. And you can almost kind of ignore it. I think I pretty much have a full set, or close to, of the SRs. I don't know which ones are dupes or not. Like, I know this one's technically a dupe for me, but I'm going to try and just go through all of them. Gotta love the Wandering Witch Elaine. Wonderful anime. Like, here's another one that I'm pretty sure is a dupe for me. Hua Tao, or however her name is pronounced. Yeah, and a dupe TGR to me. So yeah, the TGR I think is the high rarity of it. The uncommon, so to speak, that comes in every pack, or just about every pack. I don't know who this chick is, though. So I'm not going to have a whole lot to say as I open these, because I'm very disappointed with the box in general, from my first box and from the random loose packs I've gotten in the past. I will try not to make this a super boring video, try and think of something to talk about. So, I don't care for AI art. I don't care for a lot of AI stuff. People in general like to really kind of blow up the impact AI has. And having attempted to use AI for a couple of things, including, you know, on homework assignments and on, honestly, just to generate an art piece, it's not great. It's highly inaccurate. Where it excels is acting as a tool. So if you wanted to generate an AI art piece, you could, taking this very card for example, you could start with a baseline of Venti and have it kind of put something on there to give you a rough starting point. And then as an artist, you could go in and you could draw that and touch up the spots that you don't like and fix it in such a way that you do like. Okay, nice Megamine. Very cool. The SSRs are okay. Didn't get a whole lot of those, I think. But yeah, you use it as a tool. Use it as like a starting point. And then an actual human artist comes in and does the real work, the heavy lifting of making it look good. You can do the same thing with writing stories. You could have it give you your writing prompt and get everything started for you. But ultimately, a human has to be the one to end up doing all the legwork, filling in all the fine details, making it sound like a real story. If you use it in a programming, you can use it to kind of get an idea of what you want to do for programming. You can put it in, and like personally, I've remembered how to use certain functions when I had forgotten how to use them effectively. My initial C++ programming course for me was about 4 or 5-ish years ago at this point. And because of the rate I am taking classes for college, I don't remember everything I learned at that point. But the AI system doesn't have that same issue, so it was able to remind me of some functions that I'd forgotten about. That's not an issue. It reminded me of what I needed to do. I came in, I touched it up, and made it look pretty. I have attempted to just take an AI generated work and submit it as an assignment without doing a whole lot of touch-up. And I tend to get at most like low B's, if that. Usually I end up more like a C. If that's what you want, you know, I guess, but if that's only really great if you're just trying to pass a class. It doesn't help if you're trying to learn the material for future classes. Like, I don't know, if you're in a math field or you're in like a humanities field and you need to take an Algebra 2 class, I guess it'll get you through your algebra class. But you're honestly just better off taking the algebra and learning it properly. Because algebra's not that hard of a class, and the problem-solving skills you learn from doing it are pretty useful throughout your life. Letting the AI do it for you isn't all that useful. Now, I say all this, but I do use AI in a day-to-day basis. What I use AI for is I like the chatbots. Specifically, I use like character AI's chatbots to roleplay with Toho characters. I don't really have a lot of friends that like to do role-playing type stuff, and they certainly don't want to do it all the time. And there's sometimes role plays that I wouldn't feel comfortable really doing with other people. But the chatbot's not going to judge me. The chatbot's always available. So I can pop in and just start up a role play with a chatbot and just go from there. I'm not using it for anything that other people are going to see, so it's purely for my own amusement. I have gotten ideas for characters that I wanted to play in like a D&D campaign through doing this, actually. I haven't had a chance to do so yet because there's only one ongoing D&D campaign, and we're not at a point where I can make that character. But I intend to at some point. I think that is a fine usage for chatbots and for AI in general, is role-playing. Now, other people might not feel the same, and, you know, certainly there's the other issues with using AI all the time of all the water needed, the electrical costs, this, that, and the other. So I am contributing to the problem of damaging, like, the environment by using these chatbots so much. But it is, at this point in time, one of the few acceptable means I have for AI. So I at least justify it as I'm getting my own personal amusement out of it without trying to sell a product that I didn't properly make. That's not a bad clue. I don't think I got this clue last time. But yeah, those are my general thoughts on AI. Is, you know, use it for your own personal enjoyment or as a tool, but don't use it as the sole creation factor. Don't use it to create this Kokoro art, put it on a card, and then sell it, because that's, I mean, for one thing, it's dishonest. You're selling something that you didn't create, because the AI pulls from other artists, basically consolidates their work, and then slaps it together in an image. When you do that, you're kind of devaluing art in general, and I'm not going to tell everybody go pick up a pen and paper and start drawing, but you can go find a commission artist who can try and bring your idea to life. Some of them, especially if you find like a new artist, may only charge you a few bucks for it. I've had multiple commissions where I paid like $6-7. Now, if you really want something to look good, you're going to be shelling out $30, $40, $50, maybe even a few $100 if you want to get something really crazy. To use the furry community artists for an example, they tend to charge like a flat, say $30 for one character. And then if you want more than one character, they'll charge an extra, say $10 per character. If you want a fancy background, they may charge $20 for the background itself. But you can do that, and you can still get your artwork out there without having to learn to draw. Instead of the time investment, it's a money investment. With AI art, like this one, this is kind of a lame artwork of Rice Shower. It doesn't look all that great. You probably are wasting your time investment on this to get this not super great looking rice shower when you could have, say, I don't know, worked to 2 hours at your job. I'm assuming that's the roughly equivalent that somebody would do to get an adequate looking AI art. And you could have put that 2 hours worth of money earned towards getting a proper commission done. Maybe even less if you're getting one of the cheaper ones that are maybe just starting out but still have some good art. But yeah, that's unfortunately, we're not in a situation where that gets done anymore. That used to be the case, say 10 years ago, before all this AI art nonsense came about. But nowadays it's, oh, just hop on Stable Diffusion or whatever the current AI art generator is and just make your art. I will say, I think the TGRs and the SSRs don't use as much AI art on them. These might actually be touched up by an artist at the very least, because I haven't run into any immediately glaring issues on any of the higher rarities. But with this pack, that gets into the issue of I'm getting 4 SRs per pack. This one doesn't have an upgrade system where the SRs get upgraded. It has an upgrade system where your rare card, the one in the back, is what gets upgraded. So you're seeing a lot of this pack filler junk that is all AI generated. You're going to get a lot of dupes of them. And they just kind of churned them out within seconds. So that's kind of lame. Like, Goddess Story, you get a lot of duplicates, and they definitely steal their art from real artists. I've encountered it having actually gotten stolen artwork from one of my posters. But like, at least they're not using AI art, or at least to my knowledge, they don't have a ton of AI art being used. They might have stolen some AI art from something, but I don't think they're generating new AI art themselves. Alright, I apologize on that interruption. Somebody was needing my assistance on something. So yeah, I was complaining about AI art overall, and just AI usage in general. There's not a whole lot I can say at this point that I haven't already said, that other people online haven't already said. Use your best judgment, I suppose. At the very least, packs like this, I think this one ran me like $15. So I've spent $30 on the Flower Girl 2 set for some pretty generic, not so great AI art. What's with Ray's hair? Maybe somebody else can answer who watches Neon Genesis Evangelion. Why do some artworks of Ray have like the super long hair when her portrait or her character in the show has short hair? I don't remember a point where she grew it out, but I also didn't properly watch the show, so if somebody could answer that question for me, I would appreciate it. I understand why Rem sometimes gets drawn with long hair, because people just like to draw some characters with long hair. But I don't know, I like knowing the answers to why certain things happen. And I do think like Rem in ReZero got an if story where she did grow her hair out anyway. Oh, wow, there's so many characters in this set that I don't know. There's definitely ones I do know. Like the girl from Madoka Magica. I just can't remember her name. She's not that important. But like this character, I don't know her. Is this Raiden Shogun with cat ears? That's my best guess. Yeah, here is one of the cards in question that made me really question this set. Rem in a schoolgirl outfit, and it doesn't really look like Rem to me. In fact, it might not be Rem, but I think I translated it and it did get confirmed as Rem. I didn't really like that at all. Yeah, these artworks just don't speak to me. These will probably go in just a generic binder or generic box at some point. There were a couple cards that I liked enough that I did put in my binder, but yeah, this TGR is actually awful. And I think we're only halfway, and like there's 6 rarities in this box, supposedly. We've seen 3. And we're hitting the, like, almost every SR we see is a dupe point. There's 54 SRs, so in theory, I shouldn't be hitting that for quite a while. Okay. I do think, though, this is a new card for me, and it's a new rarity. This is what? Kira from Hololive? From the Hololive myth? I could be wrong on that, but I think I vaguely know her. I never watched any of her streams, but Hollow Myth is that one generation that, because Mori existed and because Gura existed to a lesser extent, I feel like I just kind of know that generation a little better. I don't really care all that much for Hololive or for VTubing and stuff like that. I'll watch a stream every so often, but it's usually only like 5 minutes of a stream. And yeah, I don't understand the whole like simping over people online nature. Like, part of why I'll probably try and keep this channel monetary free is because I don't want you all wasting your money on an idiot who doesn't know what he's doing. As you can see, I just ramble all day. I've been unboxing crappy waifu cards that cost me too much money for no real value out of them. And I don't want you guys wasting your money on nonsense like that. Use your money on buying crappy waifu cards that have no value yourself. Or not. Buy Fumos that have no value other than looking pretty. Just don't buy a Chirno Fumo unless you can get it off Ami or something like that for a normal price. If you're spending more than like $80, you did something wrong. Hatsune Miku, very nice. Crappy AI art, but, you know, it's Miku. Yeah, by the way, Fumos, they're kind of pricey. Many of you probably have never really cared about a Fumo or looked at a Fumo. Based on the website I go to, Ami, they're typically like 6,500 yen at this point in time, which translates to roughly, at time of recording, of like $40-ish, a little over that. And then, because it has to be shipped from Japan, there's usually pretty decent shipping cost associated with it as well. Oftentimes, I'll buy 3 Fumos at the same time. I'll dupe ZR Rare. That's kind of lame, because I've only gotten 2 of those now. I'll usually buy 3 Fumos at a time for roughly about $120. And then by the time shipping gets added on, I'm usually spending closer to $180. So yeah, Fumos are pretty pricey, at least the way I purchased them. But I have purchased Fumos that have already been shipped over here, mostly at anime conventions, and those are also not cheap. I believe this one, this Chirno Fumo, I got in an anime con, and I spent like $110 on it. Granted, that was one of the cheaper ends for a Chirno Fumo, because some of those Chirno Fumos go for, I think like $200 or $300 for the smaller size ones, and then if you start getting the bigger size ones, those get even more expensive because they're released with a limited time frame. So it's kind of like buy it or you miss out, which is, I know a lot of people don't really like FOMO stuff, I myself included. I strongly dislike the idea of like you're only getting people to purchase your product because it's only available for a very small amount of time. But at the very least, Ami does do the occasional reprint runs on these Fumos. Or Gift, I think, is the actual company, but Ami sells them. They do reprint runs, so you can get some of these at a later date. They're not too terrible to wait for. Granted, there's been a ton that I instantly order because I'm like, I don't want to wait until the next time it comes around. Alright, here's a better rice shower. This one looks much better than the SR version, and yeah, I think the TGRs do a much better job with their art. and I buy the Fumos that are Toho specific because I like Toho. I do have a Rice Shower Fumo on order for whenever the tariff situation fixes. They're going to send me all of my stuff, but I usually just want Toho because Toho is my main focus in life at the moment. I read a lot of Toho fan works. I read all the official stuff. I try to play a lot of the fan games. I tried to play the real games too, but the real games are bullet hell, and I suck at bullet hell. So I just enjoy my Toho content. That's why I've been using Toho Fumos for the last couple videos, just kind of in the side. Just something a little interesting. Alright, and finally another new rarity, an EX rarity. That's pretty cool. I don't know who she is, though. Yeah, not bad. I'd say if you do have an interest in these silly little dolls over here, though, definitely go on, like, Ami Ami. You can go on Mercari and buy a secondhand one. You could go on eBay and buy one secondhand on there, but I wouldn't recommend it. They get super pricey on there. Or you can try and go to a convention and try and get one there. I usually pick up one or two at a convention every year, just on ones that are not currently in production. Alright, and I definitely have this artwork, because I've had this particular artwork on a Goddess Story pack. I think it was an FR rarity at the time. I'm glad to get the last rarity. I don't know if I have this specific card. I don't think I pulled an SP card at all in my last box. I'd have to go double check, but that box has already been sorted out and put into binders and stuff, so that would be difficult. Oh, I should probably show off the back. Yeah, pretty cool. I like Amiya from Arknights. I don't remember what species she is, but she's cool. Yeah, at this point, I think I'm just seeing duplicates of the SRs. I don't think I actually have the full set of SRs. I'm probably missing like one or two. SSR, Rice Shower. Yeah, Rice Shower's in here like 4 times. That's one thing I don't understand with these packs, is they'll pick a character and put her in 4 or 5 times in different rarities. Sometimes even 2 or 3 times in the same rarity. And it's like, why didn't you just pick another character? There's hundreds of waifus to select from. You could go back as far as even like Slayers or Blackjack, Astro Boy, something like that. Granted, I don't know how many of those have viable waifus, because I haven't watched every anime that exists. I don't know all the characters that could be a waifu or not. But there's certainly more of a selection than whatever the most recent stuff is. I mean, yeah, you could pick like a cute girl like this one and put her in there 5 times. By the way, I think this is a dupe from my last box. Or you could be weird. You can try and draw in the older anime fan crowd and throw some of those older waifus in. And I've seen a couple of packs occasionally dabble with the older waifus, but I don't see it often enough. There's a huge pool of other characters out there that nobody ever draws from. Instead, you get whoever the latest and greatest is, which absolutely, definitely still put some of the latest and greatest. But why am I pulling 3 Rice Showers when it could have been like 1 Rice Shower and 1 Sailor Moon and then 1 whatever the girls' names are from Slayer? Like, those are pretty cool. And this set definitely, like, this set could have definitely benefited from it, because it's a lot of Pretty Derby in the SR slots. Like, this is Top Gun, I believe. And then they could have had the higher rarities be like some of the older characters. Or they could have split it up through the other way. You could have the lower rarities be those super old characters, and the higher rarities that people are going to want to buy multiple boxes of, multiple packs of, be those newer characters. So, like, this SSR, it would have been fine. This is a One Piece character. It's still relatively recent. Everybody remembers it. But, I don't know, we'll put Faye from Cowboy Bebop. She's old, but everybody loves Cowboy Bebop. Throw her as a high rarity, and people are going to want to buy box after box just to pull her. Especially if you have a really cool artwork of her. But no, instead these boxes like to just take, like, MASH from Fate and toss them as a higher rarity. Granted, TGR is really just an uncommon, but yeah, I don't understand the logic on these. If I compared it to, like, Magic, which is the pack type I have the most familiarity with, your commons and your uncommons that you get a ton of are usually not amazing. Some of them can be really good, like Delver of Secrets or Counterspell, but most of the time it's, you know, like Shock or Giant Growth. They're staple cards that a lot of people will want to run, but not every deck will take advantage of it. And then you'll have your mythic rares like Thragtusk and Grimgrin, and just other neat cards that people will want to go after. Mikaeus and Hallowed. Kind of dating myself on when the last time I played competitive Magic is. But you put those fancy, nice cards that people would want in the higher rarity slot. That way, there's not as many of them in circulation. People got to buy more packs. People buy more packs, you make more money, so on and so forth. If Magic put, say, Thragtusk, for example, in the common slot back in the day when Thragtusk was a, like, meta staple, everybody would have been running it. It wouldn't have been, I think it was a, like, $10, $20 card at the time. Or Voice of Resurgence, I actually pulled a copy, and that was a $40 card. If that was a common, that would have been, I don't know, $2, $3. So you got to put the cool stuff in the higher rarities, but these waifu cards, they don't seem to think that same way. They just put random waifus in any rarity without thought of, like, is this fancy or not? Sure, put Catgirl Rem in the uncommon slot. That makes sense. People like Catgirls. People like Rem. This one is fine. But, like, this is my SSR. Who is she? I've never seen her. Why do I care about this chick? Or, this was my fancy one of the box rarity, most likely, my SP. I know who she is, because I've played Arc Knights, and I've watched the anime. But what about somebody who hasn't watched the anime? What about the people who don't like playing gacha games? That's not really going to be an amazing card to just want to pull boxes over. And Asuka, I've seen her in higher rarities in, like, God of Story boxes and some other boxes. That makes sense. A lot of people like Neon Genesis, a lot of people like Asuka. I don't, so it makes sense for her to be a low rarity for me. Now, this is a nice CC. She doesn't look like CC, but it's a nice looking CC. She's got too much of an innocent look, I think. Alright, let's do this hit pack before I start to ramble about something else. Alright, And my hit pack is a PR card. This is, yeah, who the heck is this twin pigtail girl? I can't even speak anymore now. Yeah, I mean, that's neat. I'm so glad I pulled this. Yay. There's like 9 of these in the box. No, PRs aren't even on it, so I have an unknown number of PRs. So we got a few of the ZRs, 1 SP, 1 EX. We didn't get any SGPs unless the PR is supposed to be that. But yeah, that's the Flower Girls 2 box. It's kind of a disappointing box overall. I mostly was only able to talk about AI on this. I couldn't even bring myself to talk about the cards themselves. Hopefully just the cards speak for themselves. Like, this one's okay. If you like this, if you like anything out of this, just purchase the card themselves. Get the higher rarities. Ignore the SRs. Don't buy this box. I'm not buying a third. I only bought this one because I thought I'll just upload it on my channel. I've been trying to buy every box that Waifu gives as an option at this point. At least one of it. So I figured I'll go back and purchase all those boxes that I opened for myself. I hope you all enjoyed this video. This is, again, another longer one, and it will be a little goofy because I had to stop midway. But that's it for this time. I hope to see you all next time.